Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of AGORACOM, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives right after they put out important news. With us again, happy to have him back because we had him on right before Christmas. David Lukacs, CEO of KABN North America, trades on the CSE and on the stock symbol KABN. For those of you new to the story, there's going to be a lot of you because lots happened in December. A lot more shareholders, investors following the story. So let me give you a 1-minute intro on what this company does. The technical definition of what they do, they're a North American fintech company. What they do is they empower individuals to manage, control, and generate value from their online ID. And they're going even further with their biometrically verified online ID. It all works with their Liquid Avatar platform. And you should go check out liquidavatar.com because it's the coolest thing in the small cap world. In more layman's terms, their KABN basically turns the problem of data privacy into a profit for you and me, for individuals, and provides big businesses with new and compliant business models. A lot of this was created by, the Facebook privacy data scandal that came out a couple of years ago. And this is just where the world is going, where you and I are going to control and profit from our online identity. That's what KABN specializes in: continuous online identity verification, personal identification management, and personal data monetization, which is great. All control, everything flows to you. Let's talk about today's press release. David, welcome back, man.
Wow, that was a mouthful, George. Thanks so much.
Hey, you're a mouthful because you guys are doing so much and it's cutting edge, right? Before we get to today's press release, you ended 2020 with a bang, over $4 million raised. So how did 2020 turn out for you, and how happy are you with the flurry at the end in December?
Well, George, I've been in this space a long time and I've never seen something like this happen in late December. We announced on December 7th that we were going to do a $1.15 million broker deal with our partners over at Mackey Research, and that blossomed into both a broker deal and a non-broker deal for well over $4 million.
Unbelievable.
It was, as you would say, it was diabolical. But it wasn't just that. Our volumes went through the roof. People started with our announcement on December 8th with our verified identity healthcare credential to support COVID-19 vaccinations. It really, we just, it was a catalyst for us, and we thought it might be, but it was a catalyst, and it's been a phenomenal ride through December. And we took a deep breath over the holidays and we're right back at it. And we think we put out an amazing press release today.
The world of digital identity, or controlling your digital identity, is still so new to many people, even to the world, but it's definitely where we're going. How do you think the industry progressed in 2020, and how does it look? How does the world of self-sovereign identity look in 2021? How fast is this going to accelerate? Because I think it's going to accelerate pretty quickly.
Well, George, 3 years ago, we sort of put a big stake in the ground and just held firm where it was, and hoped that the market would come to us, and it's now racing towards us. We've been very fortunate. We've had the foresight to look at self-sovereign identity, and it sort of started as online identity, then digital identity, then sovereign identity, and now it's called self-sovereign identity. And really what that means is that I'm in control of my information. I control what I hold, what I do, and what others see. And in Liquid Avatar, we have this trademark saying that says, share what you want, when you want, and with whom you want. And that's really what self-sovereign, it's self-sovereign ID is. It's not an Apple wallet. It's not a Google wallet. It's an electronic wallet that you control on your device that provides the ability to share, very sensitive documents, because it's all blockchain controlled and there's all ecosystems. But the market is really moving quickly. We think 2021 is going to be an outstanding market for our products and services, and we're like uber excited about where we're going.
And for shareholders who've been here for the last 4 or 5 months, they've heard this. So let's do it in 30 seconds for new shareholders. Right now, I go on Amazon. I want to buy something for Christmas. I put in my credit card. That's George Cholas, right? It knows. Maybe. But you're saying that's not the case, and this is where you guys step in. And you're right. I know that. But if you can explain that for everybody, so that we can move on with them having that in mind?
Sure. Pretty simply, when I have an interaction in the real world, sometimes I have to present both my face so people can recognize me and a piece of ID. And we see that all the time, whether we fly, whether we, potentially go to a liquor store, whether we go to certain, things that require identity. How do I do that in the online world? So we use a combination of biometrics. So when you open an account with us, it's one account because there's only one facial recognition. Can't have more than one account. We say we hash, we computerize your facial biometric, and we connect that to your account. We then allow you to add credentials that are electronically issued. I mean, several provinces and states and governments are starting to issue digital credentials. Travel industry will be a super one for credentials, as we all know. And then you'll have a wallet to be able to access those credentials and share them, and a verifier like an airline will say, can you prove who you are? And not only by your passport, but can you prove you had a COVID vaccination or something else? And that credential will be in your wallet and will be connected to your identity and it will be yours. So it's simply like a wallet and a keychain with your mobile device or other device that we are used to doing in the real world. We're just taking all that online.
Yeah, because
So
right
when
now
you use,
Amazon knows that's my credit card, but doesn't know, has no
they
idea
think
if
it's
that's
your
me
credit
behind
card.
me.
Right, but if you use that credit card and then bang, it asks you to verify your identity, and we sent a credential back over that says, "Yep, this is George." That would make it work so much faster. You got to remember, and more simply, the credit card industry is plagued by almost $30 billion a year in identity fraud. And by adding verifiable credentials, not only our credentials, but others that we can keep in your wallet, because we're agnostic to the credential, right? Same as when you use a wallet today, the bank doesn't say, oh, you have to keep my card in a separate wallet. You just put everything in the same wallet. So we'll get credentials from everyone, but we're providing users with the tools and services to be able to manage all of that. Otherwise, it's everywhere and anywhere, and it's a circus. And so we're providing all those tools and services at no cost to consumers. And we can talk about how we make money, but at the end of the day,
It's transactional. At the end of the day,
exactly. But
George Com will pay KABN in order to be able to access David's liquid avatar, in order to be able to get permission. I mean, just be able to get permission.
We will never sell or rent data, but we'll
Right.
create connections. And so those connections will be beneficial to the user with value and to the company with value.
And this is the way the world is going. This is not Dave Lukacs and KABN have a great idea. They have no idea if people are actually going to use it, if business have any interest in it. The laws in Europe and the States and Canada are forcing, pretty much pushing everybody this way, because we saw what happened with Facebook. So you've got the market being created for you, not just you alone, right?
I agreed. Like I said, we put the stake in the ground 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and the market is moving towards us quite expeditiously. So we're really excited. And again, it's not about technology; it's about usability. We're making it easy for people to manage their online identity and access to passwords and credentials that are all controlled by them. We don't have access to that information. It's yours. It's your information. You have access, and it's controlled through biometrics and other factors that we don't control.
Right. So if Bob has got a liquid avatar on AGORACOM, he just may want to verify that that's him and nothing else, because we don't have e-commerce. On Amazon, he provides permissions for other things. At a doctor or at an airport, provides permissions for other things. But the bottom line is, it's all in the wallet, and Bob or Mary can decide what they want to share with different places. Okay, got that. That's awesome. Today's press release: KABN North America and Liquid Avatar unveil new challenger banking program for verified self-sovereign identity users. So that's a mouthful, right back at you. What does this mean in layman terms? Then we'll break it down into how the business is generated from it.
Well, I want to start by giving a plug to our great partners over at XTM, which is CSE, under the symbol PAID, PAID. I mean, it's been a joy to work with them, and we've known that team for many years. What we decided to do is not only bring in services from other providers, but also provide private label services under our auspice. So KABN, with permission, with a partnership with XTM and approvals from Visa Canada and Visa International, is able to issue its own custom branded debit card on the Visa network. And that's a big accomplishment because it validates our ID process, because we have a very strong regulated ID process, verification process. But it also allows our users and our Liquid Avatar users to get special deals from us that are usable anywhere they go and anywhere in the world that Visa is accepted.
So the way this is going to work, it kind of sounds like the President's Choice financial model, the PC, that started off at Loblaws and then grew into something significantly bigger. So
Right.
XTM has the banking infrastructure, the online banking infrastructure, correct?
Yes.
And you're playing. So let's talk about that now. So you're not out there. You don't want to become a bank.
No, we're not a money services business, an MSB or a bank. We are not in that business. We are in the business of creating value for our users, and we believe a private label program in conjunction with other banks that they deal with, so we're not alone, will be an opportunity for us to do that. And it'll also be an opportunity that if you use not only our card but our loyalty program through KABN Cash, you'll be able to get higher discounts. And your comparison to President's Choice or PC Financial is a good one, because people who use those cards get great points at the Loblaws group to be able to get free groceries. So there's lots of incentives that we can provide, but it also provides us the ability to create a bigger footprint, not only in the digital world, but in the physical world. So now we've transcended Liquid Avatar and KABN from an online program to a card that you could physically use in the real world. And within the next 60 to 90 days, the program will roll out, and we're the program manager. And I don't even have my physical card yet. Otherwise, I'm sort of pretending I'm holding it, but I don't really have it.
We'll superimpose in post-production. We'll superimpose a card with using augmented reality.
Augmented reality, exactly.
Put it right in there. So tell us about XTM a little bit. Why'd you partner with them? Obviously, you found them to be a great partner. Tell us why XTM is a great partner in this.
Well, again, we've known the group, the founding group, for a number of years, many years, in fact, and they have a great reputation. They've got great background, and we felt that they were the right partners in Canada, and we may extend beyond. Just for everyone's edification, I think everybody appreciates that. But this initial card, as a Canadian card, will only be available to Canadian residents and Canadian bank holders, because that's the way that Visa works. It's a franchise network. We are looking at expansion opportunities.
Where do you expect to go next? US,
US, Europe, UK.
Right?
Yeah, Europe, US, UK, and that's and we've already made inroads into several of those territories, and so we expect to have more programs. XTM is a great partner because they're also looking at expansion territories. So there could be some value in that, but having a great Canadian partner to start with is the ability to work from home, our home territory, and prove the model, and then move on to other territories.
So how does KABN generate revenue on your end from this partnership?
Through offerings and opportunities, and for people using the card, reloading the card, doing things with the card. Let me give an example. When you walk into a store like Walmart and use a card, Walmart pays an interchange fee, and we get a piece of that interchange fee. When there's money movement, there's fees. We get a piece of all the fees that normal banking fees will hold. And we'll have also a digital account where people can go in, look at their digital account. It'll be multiple currency. So if you're traveling and you want to change money over to multiple currency, you don't have to pay the exchange rates after the fact. You pay one exchange rate, not dual exchange rates. You'll be able to add other factors. We'll have digital currencies on that. I won't go into a great detail, but you can imagine all the opportunities with digital currencies, which we're approved for. That includes KABN Cash and some of the newer alternative currencies. It's just, again, we're not managing that process. That's with partners, but our banking platform is being built by a very great group out of Europe, again, which we've known for a number of years, who builds the online banking systems for many of the European banks. So we've got some very innovative solutions in hand already.
So here we are, first week of January. In addition to the $4+ million you raised, The other thing, KABN joined the Trust Over IP consortium back in December as a steering member. So that was big. Then you're part of a you're part of the healthcare consortium.
We're actually the
Now
founders. We're actually the founders of it.
Founder and created the healthcare consortium, and we're going to provide the link for everyone to watch your explainer video and how Liquid Avatar is working with healthcare credentials. But here in the last 30 days, seems like a lot has happened. So what does 2021? I may not even ask. Forget about all of 2021. What does the next 6 months look like? Because it seems like KABN's really starting to accelerate now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's sort of like, a jet airplane taking off. You rev up the engines and you put the brakes on. And while we're doing funding, we had the engines revved up, but the brakes were on. And so now the brakes are off. So we're traveling down the runway and we're sort of at takeoff speed. And that's the way we see the first Q of 2021. It's all about getting all our ducks not only in a row, but ready for flight. And so we've got a lot of what I believe is a lot of great information planned. I mean, everybody needs to do their own due diligence, of course.
Of course.
And
before that's what they're here for.
Yeah, that's exactly. They've got to do their own. But we believe that there's a lot of blue sky here. We spent the holidays, or at least I spent the holidays, really planning out with the team what we'd be doing in early 2021 in it. And we're really excited. So what we see is opportunities to for Liquid Avatar and our other product suites to increase users, increase our marketing and communication, our business development services, making sure that we bring in more opportunities and revenue, and our third focus is really execution. We're laser focused on execution.
Are you finding you're getting a lot more phone calls? Or the phone calls you're making, you're getting shorter cycles in terms of potential big customers, partnerships. How's the appetite been for Liquid Avatar and KABN specifically, and how are you seeing that change over the last several months? What does the trend look like?
Well, the trend, as I said, the sort of the mountains moving over to us. So we're seeing that trend. People are more interested. Also, our name's getting out there, and the notoriety of all these new investors is also very good. We're getting a lot of calls, but we're laser focused on sort of marketing and communications, business development, and execution. So as long as it fits the bucket, we're there. And we've got some really big projects that we had started before the end of the year that people have been turning up the volume on in the first few days. I mean, it's only the 6th of January and it feels like we've been at it for a month already.
Doesn't it? So, but the difference, right, David, is on top of having great product, great technology and all the rest, you're cashed up now. So you can actually really get the job done without having to, patch things together. So how does that feel like to be cashed up, have these partnerships, have the phone calls coming in? How you feeling about 2021? Must be feeling really good.
Well, over the years, people have heard all my kind of, quotes, but I often feel that I get up every morning, I've been doused in a gallon of gasoline. I spend the rest of the day running away from a lit match. So I don't want to give myself, and the team doesn't want to give themselves, a pat on the back and say, okay, it's time to relax. It's actually, as hard as it is, for micro cap companies to get their financing and get all this done, you look back and you go, that was the easy part, right? And so now the hard work begins. Because people were kind enough and generous enough and felt strong enough to invest in our company, our responsibilities have increased. Our job is to, improve the value for our stakeholders, and we're very focused on that.
Last question I'm going to ask you. This isn't for KABN, but obviously it impacts KABN. 5 years from now, because I want to give people a real vision here. 5 years from now, what is the probability that me, the people at home watching or listening, are going to be controlling their online identity and their data and monetizing it? Does the world completely change in 5 years?
I think it's faster than that, to be honest. And again, I'm not trying to be promotional here, but
no, this is industry. We're not talking about. But
if you saw I mean, let's think about when the internet first came out. The internet first came out, we waited for magazines to happen to come in every month to see what was going on new with the internet, right? If everybody remembers PC Mag
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
like, what,
Web 2.0.
even before Wired, like PC Mag, you'd wait and see, okay, what's the new stuff that's going to happen on the internet in the next 3 months? Today, the curve, the learning curve and the adoption curve is almost a vertical line in a lot of things, and we've seen that with TikTok. Let's talk about TikTok for a sec. Saw the adoption curve of TikTok be basically a vertical line. So think about it. The opportunity for identity adoption is to 100% of the online market. Everyone online is a person. Everyone online will need to do something. And even with, unfortunately, the pandemic, education is being forced back online. So every kid has to be verified. Every student has to be verified. So, government services are coming more online. All these governments are announcing that they'll have digital
Good point.
driver's licenses. I mean, all this stuff, we're in the eye of a storm, and it's kind of a controlled event. So it won't be us. I mean, the market is so large that it just won't be us, but think about it. Everyone has email and communication. Everyone has, search, a browser. I mean, these things exist today. So why shouldn't everyone have identity?
Yeah, I agree, but I want everyone to hear it from the, from the CEO's mouth at the end of the day. But it's amazing the size of the industry that you're going after and how far ahead you are of many companies. And for everyone at home, we're not sitting here saying, yeah, KABN's going to get all that. That's up to you to do your due diligence. That's up to you to watch the company grow and execute. But man, you guys are way ahead of this curve, and I'm excited for KABN. And given the fact that the mountain's moving to you, and this the way the world is going, I really can't wait to see what happens to KABN next 2-3 years. I'm excited. And congratulations on starting off the first week of the year with the way you ended it off.
No, thanks, George. It's been great, and AGORACOM, a big plug for AGORACOM, been a big help for us. A lot of our investors and our constituents watch these interviews, so it's always a pleasure to be here, and it's always fun to do these.
Well, love having you because it's cutting edge, and what I love is the fact that AGORACOM members, AGORACOM followers on social media, KABN shareholders, everyone who chooses to be a part of this ecosystem. I just said it today actually to a group on WhatsApp where I said that you're finding out about KABN before 99% of the world is, and that's what's so exciting about it. Absolutely. And where you guys are going. So congrats, thanks for being here. And I guess I'll have you on again next week. The way it's going with you, it's almost becoming weekly. But would love to have you back real soon.
Yeah, would appreciate nothing better.
For everyone at home, you've been watching or perhaps even listening by podcast over Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast site. To David Lukacs, he's CEO of KABN Systems North America, trades on the CSE and the stock symbol KABN. Look, we know that this is still a concept that's difficult for people to get their minds around, just like esports was 3-4 years ago when we're on the cutting edge of esports and people couldn't understand esports. People at home creating leagues from video. Yep. And look where it is today. So same thing. We know that this is an early concept for people to get their minds around. So 2 things. A, go to liquidavatar.com. That's a great place. Great graphics, real easy explanation as to, what the company's doing. Second, get to their hub on AGORACOM, go to the profile page where we've kind of neatly laid this out for you in layman's terms to really start getting your mind wrapped around this. Because trust me, self-sovereign identity is happening and it's going to accelerate, and KABN's at the forefront. And you want to make sure you've done your due diligence. That's your job. Our job is present David, present the company, present the vision. Your job is go do your due diligence. Thanks for being here. Wishing you all a fantastic day. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.